You land at JFK with 2 suitcases, a laptop bag, and $2,000 in a Chase account you opened 3 days before the flight. You've done the math. Rent deposit, first month, groceries, Metro card. You've done the math, and the math doesn't fully work, and you did it anyway. The cab from the airport costs $70. You watch the meter and say nothing. You booked a room on Craigslist, $650 a month, a bedroom in a 4-person apartment in Queens. The listing said cozy. It means small. You knew that. You take it anyway because it is the only number that fits inside the math. You put your suitcases down on the floor of the room. There is a bed, a window that faces a brick wall, and a radiator that will either work too much or not at all depending on the day. You sit on the edge of the bed. You flew thousands of miles for this room. And somehow that doesn't feel wrong. It feels exactly like a beginning. You got into a computer science program at a state university in New York. Not your first choice. Your first choice waitlisted you and then quietly never followed up. But this program is real. The professors are serious. And you're here to learn, not to wear a sweatshirt with a name on it. Tuition is $18,000 a year. You have $2,000. You apply for every scholarship with your name on the application before you finished unpacking. You get 2. Together, they cover about a third of the first year. The rest goes on loans. Federal first, then a private one with an interest rate you try not to look at directly. You sign the papers at a desk in the financial aid office, while a woman across from you explains the repayment timeline in a tone that suggests she has explained it 10,000 times. You nod. You sign. You do not think about the number. You think about it every day for the next 4 years. The campus job comes first. Library assistant, 3 shifts a week, 4 hours each, $15 an hour. Your job is to reshelve books, help students find things, and sit at the front desk looking available. It is quiet work. You like it more than you expected. The library is warm and nobody asks you where you're from more than once. You do the math, 12 hours a week, $180 before tax. It covers your Metro card and groceries if you are careful. It does not cover rent. So you get the second job. A restaurant in Astoria. Not front of house, your accent, your newness, the way you are still learning the specific rhythms of American customer service. They put you in the kitchen. Prep work mostly. Chopping, cleaning, the 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift on Fridays and Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays when they need you. The head chef calls everyone by their last name. The kitchen is loud and hot and operates on a language of its own. Half English, half shorthand, half shouted across stainless steel. You learn it fast. You come home on Saturday night smelling like a fryer and sit at your desk and open your laptop and do the homework due Monday. You are tired in a way that is different from anything you felt before. Not bad tired. Earned tired. The kind that means you actually did something with the day. You call home on Sundays. You say things are good. You do not mention the Friday nights in the kitchen. Not because you are ashamed, you are not, but because your family already worries enough and some things are yours to carry alone. The first year of CS is a filter. You know that going in. The professors know that going in. Everyone in the room on the first day of data structures knows it, even the ones pretending they don't. Half of them will change their major by spring. You don't change your major. Not because it's easy, it isn't, but because you didn't come this far to find something easier. You came to build something that travels. Code travels. A degree with real skills behind it travels. You understood that before you got on the plane, and you understand it more clearly now that you're here. You form a study group with 3 other students. 2 Americans, one international like you. You meet in the library. Your library, the one where you work. On Tuesday and Thursday nights. You order nothing because there is nothing to order. You just sit and work through problem sets until the janitor starts making pointed eye contact near the exits. These people become the closest thing you have to friends in the first year. Not close friends, not yet, but present, real. People who know your name and your handwriting and how you explain recursion when someone isn't getting it. In New York, that's not nothing. Junior year, you start applying for internships. You apply to 47 companies. You keep a spreadsheet, company name, date applied, response, follow-up date. Most rows in the response column say nothing. They stay empty for weeks and then you fill them in yourself. No response. Move on. You get 7 first-round interviews. You prepare for each one like it's the only one. LeetCode problems at midnight after the restaurant shift. System design videos on the subway. Flashcards for behavioral questions. Tell me about a time you faced a challenge. Tell me about a time you worked in a team. Until the answers feel natural instead of rehearsed. 4 companies move you to second rounds. 1 makes you an offer. A mid-sized startup in Manhattan. 12 weeks. $35 an hour. More money than you have made in any 12-week period of your life. You accept before they finish the sentence. The internship is the first time you feel like you might actually belong here. Not in New York specifically. New York still moves around you like water around a rock. Fast and indifferent and beautiful. But in the work. In a room where what matters is whether you can build the thing, solve the problem, ship the feature by Thursday. Your manager is direct. Your team is small. 6 engineers, 2 of whom are also international, 1 of whom has been navigating the visa system for 3 years and becomes, without either of you planning it, the most useful person you know. He tells you things nobody else tells you. About OPT, about the H-1B lottery, about the gap between finishing your degree and being authorized to work and how that gap has destroyed people's timelines through no fault of their own. You write everything down. You start building the folder. The immigration situation is its own full-time job that you do not get paid for. You are on a student visa. When you graduate, you have OPT, Optional Practical Training, which gives you 1 year to work legally, 3 if your degree qualifies as STEM, which CS does. So you have 3 years. 3 years to find a company willing to sponsor your H-1B. 3 years before the lottery. The H-1B is a lottery. You did not fully understand that before you came. You understood visa, you understood work authorization, you understood the general shape of the process. But lottery, actual random selection, your entire ability to stay and work in the country legally determined in part by chance. That part didn't land until you were inside it. You enter the lottery. You do not get selected the first year. You keep working under OPT. The clock is running. You know the clock is running. Everyone around you who is in the same situation knows the clock is running. You do not talk about it constantly, but it is always in the room. The political climate makes it worse. Under Trump, the processing times stretch. The RFES, requests for further evidence, come more frequently, for more people, for reasons that sometimes make sense and sometimes feel like the system reminding you that your presence here is conditional and always has been. A colleague gets an RFE on a petition that should have been straightforward. It takes 7 months and $4,000 in legal fees to resolve. You hire an immigration lawyer. You cannot fully afford her. You pay her anyway. You enter the lottery a second time. You get selected. You do not celebrate loudly. You sit with it for a moment, alone in your apartment in Queens. A different apartment now, a slightly better one. Your name on the lease? A window that faces something other than a brick wall, and you feel something that takes a while to identify. It is relief. But it is the kind of relief that only exists because the fear was real. The startup converts your internship into a full-time offer 6 months before you graduate. $95,000 base. Health insurance. A desk in an open-plan office in Midtown where the coffee is free and the Slack notifications never stop. And your manager gives feedback in real time, directly, without softening it, which you appreciate more than the free coffee. You are a software engineer. You are 25 years old. You have $67,000 in student loan debt. You are sending $400 home every month, which is not enough and is also the maximum the budget allows right now. You are building something. You can feel it. It is real and it is yours and it required everything you had. Here is what nobody tells you about making it. Making it doesn't mean arriving somewhere finished. It means you traded certain things permanently for other things. The years your family had dinners without you at the table. Those don't come back. The version of yourself that might have existed if you'd stayed, you'll never know who that person would have been. Your younger sibling is now almost the age you were when you left. You look at them over a video call and realize you have missed most of their adolescence. Not the photos of it. The actual texture of it. The bad days and the ordinary days and the days that don't make it into photos. You chose this. You would choose it again. The green card is in process. The job is real. The apartment is yours. New York still moves around you like water, but you have learned to move with it now instead of against it. But some nights you sit at the desk where you once did midnight LeetCode after a kitchen shift, and you think about the $2,000, and you think about the meter running in the cab from JFK, and you think about everything that number had to become before this life was possible. And you feel not grateful exactly. Gratitude is too simple for what this is. You feel the full weight of it. Every job, every loan, every lottery, every Sunday call home where you said things were good. You feel all of it at once. And then you open the laptop, and you get back to work. You came with $2,000 and a plan that didn't survive the first month. What survived was something else, the part of you that kept going anyway. That part was always worth more than $2,000. It just took America to find out.